Alrighty. All right, all right. Man, oh man, what a freaking nightmare that was. I apologize for the stream being abruptly interrupted. There's actually a rainstorm going on tonight, and it messed with my internet pretty good. I was just able to get everything back connected. So I do apologize. It's definitely going to throw off the flow just a little bit. Let me go ahead and boom. So we're still here. We're still in it. Working tirelessly around the clock to bring you this truth, this news, this entertainment, whatever you'd like to call it. We appreciate you being here and tuning back in. I kept the descriptions short and sweet reposting this, so I do need to grab actually that little box for a second. Okay. Let's get this chat. We'll get things cooking here once again in just a brief moment. All right, new chat. That shall be that. While we wait for everybody to get back in, I will go ahead and do a shameless, probably undeserved plug, but hey, who the heck cares? We're all friends here. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Rokfin. We actually don't have much of the show to go, so we're about to go ahead and cut it over on the YouTube side anyway. That way we can go ahead and finish up everything and keep some stuff exclusive for our folks over on the Rokfin who show them some love, who show us some support. So we do appreciate it. Be sure to go and subscribe if you have not already. Subscribe to Rokfin. Get my content, Jaronisms, Karen B, Owen Benjamin, all kinds of fantastic content creators. Get your boy, the Melodome. Hey, Andrew, first in the new chat. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. We were in full swing. I don't even remember where the heck I was at. I just got the notification on OBS says, bing, you've been disconnected. Awful. Very painful. Infuriating being unable to connect with you all. But hey, it comes with the territory, happens from time to time. That's why you need to make sure you have your own app. You can have your own entertainment for when stuff like that happens. I'm sure some of you jump to another YouTube, but that's okay. This will direct you to some excellent YouTube videos, bypass the algorithms. It's by Blue Water Bay. Make sure you use your referral code Tribune so they know who the heck sent you. Don't just get the app and not use a referral code. What a waste. Mine is a terrible thing to waste. So, we were testing the Matrix. What is the Matrix exactly? Big Pine Sailing, welcome. Welcome in, folks over on the Rokfin popping off. It's okay if you missed the first half. We actually got abruptly interrupted. So I'm going to do a brief recap for those who are just joining. We're going to try to pick up the steam, and then we're going to go ahead and go over to Rokfin, open up the panel, have some people join, whoever wants to, discuss the subject, things that relate, maybe things that don't. Who the heck cares? It is a weeknight. We are having fun. Let me go ahead and do some shout outs. Of course, I see you guys right here on screen. Andrew B, Big Pine Sailing over on the Rokfin. Huge support. We really appreciate you being here. Over on the YouTube, we have Big Pine Sailing. Also, cool kid, rocking both clubs. Amazing. Michelle Moretti. We are back. We appreciate you tuning in. Everybody's going to trickle back on in, smash the likes. Let's get everything going. I do apologize if it kicks again. My internet is a little bit, well, it's not guaranteed. I'll just say that with the storm like what we have going on right now. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Very important subject of the night, The Matrix. I'm not talking about the Hollywood movie. No, we are talking about the matrix of thought, the things that control our daily actions, and a lot of which we aren't even really aware of. So I started the stream with the story of how a lot of us come into this world. We come into a hospital bed with our mothers being in an uncomfortable, unnatural position that they would never be found in the natural habitat, giving birth that way, doped up on all kinds of drugs. um, Oftentimes, I think it's like over 70% now is C sections, which deprive the baby of vital nutrients and is just going to lead to a bad start at life, followed by tons of numerous, I would say, ill advised medical advice. Of course, I'm not a medical professional. Always seek your medical advice from a medical professional. But in any case, um, due to the things that happen medically, I believe we then end up in a not so great situation with maybe not the highest IQ that would have been possible for us. We go through a school education indoctrination station program, which is going to walk us through the squaring of the circle, as they say. Basically, they're going to remove creativity, teach the children to regurgitate mindlessly the information that they are given. That is how most of us fall into the globe earth deception. It comes with very little challenge from critical thought. That's why it needs to be taught to children. And from there, you're taught to go to college so you can get a good job. You go to college, you get an okay job. Price of everything continues to go up. You're in an incredible debt because you went to college. And meanwhile, the government's just making that money back on the taxpayer. Anyway, I'm talking about, of course, the federal debts that they're about to clear. And then not only that, but the colleges themselves, a lot of which are funded by the so-called elite, a lot of which by China themselves. I'm sure they're doing that because they love our freedom. In any case, folks, if you like the content, feel free to have your super chat read live. If you're new to the program, you have not seen this kind of show yet, you've not seen your chat read, go ahead to buy me a coffee / Tribune. That way you can have your whole entire super chat interrupt the entire show. Super awesome. I wanted to make sure I got that plug out of the way before we got too far ahead of ourselves. Now, let's go ahead. I'll roll through. Again, for the new people, Big Pine, mostly for you, man, friend. That's okay. I'll do a whole nother show for you. Red pill versus blue pill. What if the answer isn't in either of the pills? Just saying. I believe that this is a setup, a false dichotomy that they have been programming into our minds from the beginning. That's why you see everybody's willing to take the red pill. We all know the red pill, supposedly the pill of truth, wakes you up to the matrix. You compare it to the paradigm, though, that we have with the politics. Most people who supposedly are waking up are on the Republican side. Of course, we know that there are two sides of the same shitty bird. We have the illusion of free choice. Both sides lead to the slaughterhouse. And that's because neither one have it completely right. They both have valid criticisms. However, they seek to completely divide and conquer us. After all, the best way to control the opposition is to lead it. A great quote by Vladimir Lenin kind of let you know what the folks at the top are thinking. And remember, when we're talking about education, we know it as indoctrination. Kind of gives new meaning to this quote here from Henry Truman. or Harry Truman, whoops. Without a strong educational system free of government control, democracy is crippled. Knowledge knowledge is not only the key to power, it is the citadel of human freedom. And I do agree with some of that quote that knowledge is the key to power and the citadel of human freedom. He without knowledge is lost, which is why the people at the top a lot of times tend to have belief systems centered around worshiping um, illumination or the embodiment or the gaining of knowledge. It's actually not Satanism, like a lot of Christians like to believe. They like to believe that these people at the top are just worshiping, these crazy monsters or things that just demand evil. And I actually don't think that's the case. I think they're evil. Don't get me wrong. But I think that I think it's more of a misguided um, a misunderstanding of what they actually believe. So let's go ahead. Man, I'm seeing some great chats over from the Rokfin. Internet just dropped out. Thankfully, my neighbors is still on. Heck yeah. And it is still on. Big Pine, we appreciate you. Austin Murphy, welcome back. I agree with you. Love how all these channels offer a different perspective. It helps the whole community grow. That is 100% accurate. I can't imagine how boring YouTube would be if we were all sitting here spouting the same opinion. You know, it's really funny. Now, since we're talking about the left right dichotomy, one of the things that I thought was interesting in big popular news is the right is now starting to eat itself. Um, they are basically it's being called out what us in the truthers community have already suspected that the big conservative movement is of course in bed with big tech, bought and paid for, having the fancy dinners just like everybody else. And lo and behold, it actually was Steven Crowder who called it out. Super funny. I do admire anybody who would have the balls to call out, an establishment that you're making a lot of money from. He's a huge conservative. He's arguably one of the biggest, and yet he comes out and he's like, "Yeah, they're they're paying, um, or I should say, they're withholding money and doing all these crazy hoops to jump through for the conservatives." So basically, proving out that they are very leashed when you get to the popular people. That's why Ben Shapiro, why I believe Ben Shapiro's like super pro vaccine. He might actually believe that. But there's just all kinds of data to show that you shouldn't have supported that. So I tend not to give him the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, so yeah, that's some really funny stuff that's happening right there. All the drama with that. Not to get sucked in too much because, excuse me, feeling slightly under the weather. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in every once in a while. I have to tap that mic. That way you don't get your ears blasted with my choking. But yeah, 1 second. Sovereign, indeed. Y'all still going? We are. We had a little bit of a hiccup, but we wanted to go ahead and pick it back up and finish strong. I wasn't going to leave on that BS note. Not from me, not from troubling. Not unless I had no choice, of course. So if you ever do see that happen, just know that I couldn't help it. Crowder is a huge phony. Absolutely. They're all phony. That's why I started with it's eating itself. Really funny. Conservatives are just as bad as the leftists they exploit for content. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me point this out, Big Pine, because this actually was huge. This is like probably one of my favorite parts of the last stream. I'll go ahead and touch over it real quick, and then we'll get on to the new stuff. But the whole dichotomy of the left right is actually really old. It was talked about in Gnostic writings. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get this pulled right back up here. You're not the page I want. You are the page I want. This is from the tractate. Try saying that 5 times fast. The tripartite tractate. Yeah. From the Nag Hammadi Library. It is the Gnostic Society Library. It's a collection of works, a really good resource. You can go to gnosis.org. Again, let me copy that, repost it. That way you guys have something that you can look at while we're following along. Chat it. Boom. Boom. Alrighty. Got it posted. Let's get back in here. Scrolling down. There's a part that we were reading where it actually breaks this down, which I thought was really interesting how it threw this in. All right, here we are. Boom. I'm going to highlight it. That way we can see it easier because I know it's really small writing. But this is basically talking about what they, and a lot of these books are talking about what they felt the Almighty or God was, or the divine, and the different ways that they broke down the spirit. A lot of them have the idea that that the human body was broken up into 3 different parts: the intellect, the spirit, and the body. So here's where we're talking about that left-right dialect here. To each one he gave a name, since the 2 orders are in name. Those belonging to thought and those of the representation are called the right ones, the psychic, the fiery ones, and the middle ones. Of course, they're called the middle because they're kind of halfway between the completely spiritless, materialistic left, which are those who belong to the arrogant thought of the likeness, are called the left, the Hylic, the dark ones, and the last. In this part 10, the organization, it explains how they're set out here. And basically the right have some touch of divinity. They understand that there's a God, that there's a divine presence, there's a spiritual aspect to things, but they still get really wrapped up in dogma, and a lot of times it leads to their detriment. So although they'll be better off than the left, which have, according to this, have no capacity for spiritual enlightenment whatsoever. That's why you can't really talk to them about God. You can't talk to them about spiritual things. It'll always devolve into atheism and materialism. Very selfish, self-centered worldviews. But and then there's one above, which is the Logos, and that's the one where I believe most of us truthers are on the path of logic. All right, I'm still screen sharing, so let me go ahead. Let's get back to it. Boom. That's why if I did have to align myself politically, if I was forced to, gun to my head, obviously I'd be a libertarian. They're the only people talking about editing or auditing the Federal Reserve. I mean, nobody else on mainstream is even talking about that. So definitely, I don't think that there's no way out politically. We do have somewhere we could throw our vote, at least here in America. Not that it means anything, because there's a good possibility that oh, you know what? I'm on YouTube. Can't say that here. You know where I'm going with it. We obviously have the freest and best, safest, most accurate elections in the history of mankind. So we won't say anything about that over here on Rokfin. But yeah, huge aspect of the Matrix is going to be the politics in which people align themselves with, which is ultimately just going to be a reflection of the religion that they subscribe to, whether it be atheism, or whether it be hardcore Christianity is what you would have here in the left, or sorry, over here in the West. Most of the time, over in the East, it's a little bit different. They have different schools of thought. Um, they believe a little bit more in self empowerment, where you can bring yourself to salvation by getting rid of needless desires and attachments. Um, Actually focusing on the subtle energies, the things that we can all feel, like the chakras, raising our vibrations one energy node at a time, which can be done by focusing on different colors and tints, sounds, etc. It's actually a much less of a woo um, science as it is a manual one. It's the best way I can put it. You can actually feel the effects, um, whether it be placebo or not. That's you can have that debate, but I tend to think that even if it is the placebo effect, because ultimately all boils down to mind and perception, it doesn't really matter, does it? Alrighty. Of course, we also have our Breaking the Matrix package with the J. Tolan Media uh, Texas to Baja photograph. If you still believe in the curvature of the Earth, um, man, you got to do some more research. That's all I got to say. I try not to be super rude on it. That's why I do the True Earth debates. Check us out over on TikTok. Boom. Of course, we all know a good decision is based on knowledge and not numbers. So we're not going to appeal to authority. We're not going to appeal to the group think when choosing our matrix of thought. Know what you might be thinking. Choose a matrix. Why in the heck would I do that? I just want to be a free thinking. As the old Rush song goes, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice, right? So it's best to just embrace it, understand that there's no escaping certain things. You're going to have certain boundaries of which to make logical arguments. It's irrefutable. Let's go back over here to the Rokfin chat. Wouldn't even know about Drag Queen Story Hour if it wasn't for every conservative channel constantly going on about it, right? But that's actually kind of part of the problem, right? That stuff can go uh undetected under the radar. Most NASA shills are lefty goonies, that is for sure. That is for sure. Always a hot take from Big Pine. We definitely appreciate that. Already up to 22 views. What are our likes at? 6, guys. You got to smash that like button. Otherwise, we're going to have to halt the show. It's just unfortunate, but those likes are like currency for the YouTube algorithm. So if we want this to get discovered by more people so that they can also hopefully have a chance at thinking for themselves, then we're just going to have to do it. But I think that now's as good as time as any. Now that we've recapped everything, we can go ahead and cut it for the YouTube side, get to the big boy portion. That way we can have Braxton commented what happened. Well, we're still on, man. I'm actually going to comment him back right now so he can get the heck on here. We live right now. Doing it live. Sick. Rain or shine. We are going to get it done. All right. So as I was saying, we're going to go ahead and cut it for the YouTube side. That way we can talk about a couple other systems of control, talk about some solutions. That's going to be the biggest thing. All right, we need some solutions. What the hell are we going to do? We can't just sit here bitching about it the whole time. So yeah, we're going to offer some of those. Everybody is free to take their own path, but I think that if we work together on a few things, get some direction, that we can actually go a long way as a community. So stay tuned for that. Go ahead and jump on over to the Rokfin side. I'm gonna go ahead and play a song. Um, Go ahead and play a song. Let our outro video play, And I expect to see everybody over on the Rokfin side. Gonna go ahead and do an open panel after we finish discussing everything, and go ahead and get your guys' thoughts. We do really appreciate it. Thank you all for bearing with me, hanging in there. Um, but yeah, we are coming to a close. I didn't realize it's already 1 o'clock too. We won't take forever. We're just gonna touch on some stuff. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be good. So definitely come on over. All right. So without further ado, go ahead and play this for you. Boom, beautiful. And let's pick a song. What do we want to hear? What do we want to hear? Let's do, yeah, Punch Deck. Sick. All right, folks. See you in just a bit. Where the heck is the music? Ooh. There we go. Ooh. Of course, when you think you have it together, because we're doing this live, it's going to be super duper slow and not do what I tell it to do. Absolutely phenomenal.